What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn how to use triad pairs to create tons of melodic language that we can use when improvising or writing music. You can hear this technique used in the playing of modern jazz greats like Chick Corea, McCoy Tyner, Michael Brecker, and many others. So what is a triad pair? A triad pair is just what it sounds like. A pair of two triads giving us 6 notes total. One option, a simple way to start, is to use two triads directly from the scale that we're playing over, which would give us a diatonic sound. For example, over C major, we can choose from C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, and B diminished triads. We just need to choose any two that don't share a note, because that would only be 5 notes. So for example, we could use A minor plus B diminished. Or D minor and E minor. But diatonic triad pairs are just the beginning. We can also use non-diatonic triads, that is, triads from outside the key. This is most commonly done over dominant chords if we're talking about functional harmony, like most jazz standards and American songbook tunes. But you'll also hear this over major and minor chords, specifically in a modal context, when we need to stretch out for a long time over one chord, like in impressions or So What or Footprints. A very common way to step outside of the key just a little bit is over a major chord to use a Lydian sound, which means a major 7 with a sharp 11. For example, if we're playing in B flat major, we could use the B flat major triad plus the C major triad, giving us that E natural instead of the E flat from the key. You could also use, for example, the C major triad plus the D minor triad to get the 3rd, 5th, and 7th of the key instead of the root 3rd and 5th. So you may already know that the half-whole diminished scale is very close to the altered scale and sounds great over dominant chords. This is an 8-note scale containing the root, 3rd, 5th, and flat 7th, the chord tones of the dominant chord, as well as these more tense color tones, the flat 9, the sharp 9, the flat 5, and the 13th. All of these notes can sound really great in the right context over a dominant chord. They provide us with that color, that tension that resolves. Given that we now have 8 notes to work with, there are more options of triads. But no matter what triads we choose, we're going to end up with a mixture of the butter notes and altered extensions, or the 13th. One pair I really like to use is the root triad plus the minor triad starting on the flat 5. Over F7, for example, or F7 alt, we can use an F major triad and a B minor triad. The flat 5 would technically be C flat, but let's call it B, and we're going to use a B minor triad. This gives us B, the flat 5, D, the 13, and F sharp, the flat 9. We can also find some out notes by sliding a half step away from the key that we're in. So for example, if I'm playing over D minor for a long time, like in Impressions, I can choose a triad that defines the key, like F major, the F, A, and C, 3rd, 5th, and 7th from the D minor chord. And then I can go a half step away from my root, D minor, and choose E flat minor, for example, and use the F major and E flat minor triads for this sound. I want to give a quick shout out to Nux, who provided me with this wireless mic that I used to record the examples today. Everything comes in this compact charging case. It works just like wireless headphones, where your mic and your receiver are in here and they charge, and the case has a charge. So you can play a few hours of a gig, throw them back in here, and next time you open it, they're going to be charged and ready to go until you use up the entire charge of the case. And it has a great battery indicator on the outside here where the charging port is. I already played a gig on this, and then I just used it today to record this video. The case is still at a full charge. So yeah, can't recommend this highly enough. For the money, I don't think you can beat this in terms of wireless saxophone mics. You just need to be aware of finishing phrases on the notes that actually resolve into the key we're playing in, rather than the out notes, because that can just sound like a mistake. Music's all about question and answer, tension and release. Triad pairs are just one very common, excellent tool for creating tension. Now, as for practicing triad pairs, a good starting point is to practice them in these 4 basic arrangements. We can go up, 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 down, 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 and down, up, both ascending and descending. If you find yourself struggling to play these patterns, just practice the inversions of all of the individual triads by themselves before combining them into pairs. Rhythmically, we can start with triplets or eighth notes. And just because we're playing triads doesn't mean we necessarily have to switch triads every 3 notes. We can add the octave to the triad for a 4-note group, or go up 1 more through the inversions for a 5-note group. This can create really cool rhythmic patterns when done over triplets, for example. Hey, real quick, my channel's not sponsored by anyone and I'm not monetized yet. I do want to share some things that I have made that are sort of like elevated merch, if you will. These are these beautiful wooden mouthpiece stands that I designed and had built by a small woodworking company in Michigan. If you're interested in these, I have a link to my Etsy store in the description of the video. I have an 8, 12, and 5-piece model. As you can see, they hold everything really sturdy. They look beautiful on your desk. These would make a great gift for the saxophone player in your life. Here's one of the 5-piece models. You can see this beautiful walnut that we chose to build these with. And here's one of the 8-piece holders. And now I want to hear from you. What triad pairs do you like the sound of? Who do you hear using these kind of patterns a lot? If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe for more jazz theory and saxophone conversations. Bye-bye.